And I believe crypto will play that type of role.
Bitcoin, bomb, altcoin, bomb.
We are hearing from clients around the world.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
Crypto, depending on how you think about it. And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a
Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, bomb.
We are hearing from clients around the world.
What's up, everybody? Are you ready to jump into these charts? We got some things to talk about. Markets are looking good. We made a big, not a big, but we made a very degen move this morning. I shared in the Discord. If you're ready to hit the road on these charts, throw a one in chat. Let's get it. What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Welcome to the BitLab Academy stream. We've got a lot of stuff to cover today and a limited amount of time to do it, so we're jumping right into it today. We got a couple charts that we are going to be going over, really sharing a couple things about what's going on in the market and, of course, what is going on with Bitcoin. We're getting a little bit of a washout, it feels like right now, for those that are zoomed in on a small time frame, but we can see we're still forming a higher low here. We are washing out just slightly below this weekly VWAP at the moment. So we're going to want to keep an eye on this, and we're going to be going through a number of different charts and TA and altcoins. And so I want to ask everybody that's here right now before the masses pour in, if you're here, you're early. I love you. I appreciate you. Everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. It's Friday, baby. We got that options expiry today. We got some really big indications that something may be coming in the market very soon. That is super, super bullish. I am early, and all of you are early as well. So I want everybody that's in the room at this moment, every one of you, throw in one coin that you'd like to see some TA on, and I will try to get through as many as possible. So post them right now in the live chat. If you're watching later, throw some coins you're interested in down below in the comments. I try to check into that on a regular basis. So I think it's with that, you know what? My name's Kelly Kellum. Welcome to the BitLab Academy stream. I'd love it if you would hit that like button and subscribe button and ding the bell. Only about 45% of the people that watch this on a daily basis are subscribed. So I'd love to ask you, if you're watching right now, look down below this video, right below it. Does it say subscribed? Hit the subscribe button and join us here. Now let's go ahead and talk about what we want to talk about. I'm going to be fairly quick today. It's Friday. I want to incentivize and encourage all of you to get out of the charts. And by the way, we got a great stream lined up for tomorrow as well. Got Mr. Mark Yusko on. I can't wait to share that with you all. But let's go ahead and talk about what we want to talk about. Let's start not here. Let's start right here. This is incredible. The largest ever inflow of USDC. Think of it, just think stable. The largest ever inflow of a stable coin, in this case it's USDC, has been deposited on Coinbase. Typically when this happens, there's liquidity that is needed to facilitate transactions on networks. So this is an actual very bullish indication about some, I don't want to call it projections, about some ideas about what is coming in, they're preparing and moves are about to come. Yes, when we look over here at the chart, we do see a beautiful structure right here. These are the main levels I'm looking at. If you only have one level you're looking at on your chart, that means that you have a little bit of a bias about what direction it's going. If you think it's going up, you better set 2 targets down. If you think it's going down, you better set 2 targets up. Otherwise, you're going to be caught in the crossfire of your emotions when the market does eventually move. Now, remember, today is just a few minutes ago, Jerome Powell was speaking. I think he's still speaking, in fact. That's going to have impact on some volatility in the market, depending on the tone and what everybody thinks he's talking about. But in addition to that, we have the options at over $9 billion in Bitcoin and over $4 or $5 billion in Ethereum that are expiring today. And as I indicated yesterday and the day before, as we're coming into this, expect some whale games in these charts. I am not worried with any price action, especially on the bullish note. I'm not worried about any price action that holds above this level here. Remember, doesn't feel like we're going to go down there. Great. That's usually when it goes down there. This level I'm watching, not only because it is the neckline of this pattern that we broke out of, this would effectively be coming down to test this previous resistance, flip it to support. But in addition to that, it would fulfill that filling the gap narrative that we were talking about when we are considering what is possible in these markets. Remember, we do have a massive magnet directly below us, which is this CME futures gap that basically came from Sunday's open because the market moved over the weekend. So we have this big gap down here that's directly in the middle of that zone that we just discussed, which is this also would fulfill flipping this previous resistance to support. So we have two different things looking at two different types of data that are both saying, hey man, just keep an eye on this. It doesn't mean price is going there. It means you have a higher likelihood and a reasonable expectation that if it does break down, this is an area that we really want to look for the price action to flush through. So I see everybody's rolling in right now. So big love to you. I just want to shout out again, hit that like button, subscribe. I don't know how we have such dedicated viewers here and only about 40% of you are subscribed. I can see how often people are watching. Doesn't tell me the names, but it shows only 40% of the people that watch on a daily basis are subscribed. So I'd love each and every one of you. Let's set some records. Let's see how many subscriptions to this channel, to this community, become a part of this family. Now let's go ahead and talk about what we want to talk about. So huge bullishness when we see this. You can't really tell this line right here. This is a huge inflow of stable coins, USDC onto Coinbase. That is liquidity setup, basically filling their gas tanks to account for movement that could be coming into this market, buying power. So let's talk about that. It also could be account for selling pressure. But either way, remember, if we get a sell here, if we get massive sells here, and we know how bullish things are, and I'm about to go through some more really bullish charts, then I would actually want to have a drop in price right now so I can stack deeper. So let's be positive about any price action. Let's be emotionally agnostic to what can happen. Now, let's talk about this. Tech Dev, one of my favorite analysts in the space, he's been sharing this. Is it the halving? Is it the liquidity? Well, let's look at this. The liquidity cycle, the global liquidity, which has aligned with every Bitcoin top and takeoff point. Takeoff meaning starting that uptrend. And we can see right here, he posted this chart initially, I think July of last year. Shout out to Zachary Martin, member for 1 month. I feel like I've been lurking for longer than a month. Well, big love to you. I appreciate you being vocal. If any of you watch regularly, even if you're here for the first time, I'd love to do this right now. How about this? Roll call. Everybody, no matter if you've done this before or not, what city, what state, what country are you tuned in from? And what was your born on date? Let's tie this together. We're a family, man. Let's do this together. Now, this right here, this chart is showing us the flow of gas into the tank to go on a trip, or the lack of gas. The tank is empty and the car needs to come back to the station to fill up. So you see the global liquidity peaks. Global liquidity is trickling down, starting a little bit before where this peak is, showing a bit of a bearish divergence. Not much fuel to continue the move up. What do we get? Downside price action. And then a lot of consolidation sideways. Yes, we had the run up here and then sell off, but this is a true start of that parabolic portion of the bull run. What happened at the same time? That flip in global liquidity coming back alive, filling up that gas tank. And we're seeing this similarly several months ago here. And so any dip we get right now, let's celebrate it, because this is suggesting that we are about to make some moves. Now we see spacing between the blue and red dots has always been about 9 to 11 bars. So, about a year or less. So we've got to pay attention to what's going on. Similarly, we look at this. This is the 2-month expansion has only just begun, as RSI has only just crossed the channel EQ. So when we look at this, what we're seeing is on the 2-month basis, look at this. The price action pushes up into the Bollinger Bands. Price action pushes up into the Bollinger Bands. And in addition to that, we have the RSI is getting into that basically above that EQ zone, showing that strength is coming into the market. So we have global liquidity and we have strength. And we're not only talking about on a 1-hour time frame, we're talking about on a 2-month chart. This is saying the macro is starting to scream bullishness. We see this from trader tardigrades as Bitcoin is about to close above, not on a daily, not on a minute, not on a 4-hour, not on a weekly, above the monthly close in the last top. We're about to have a monthly close above the last top. in the history, if this happens, Bitcoin would not go back to this level, i.e. $61,000. Bitcoin didn't go back to 16, didn't go back to 12, didn't go back to 1,400 previously. It wouldn't go back to 61 this time. It doesn't mean it can't go back there in the bear market, but in this bullish trend, we are flirting with incredible bullish price action. Now, some would argue that we have run a bit faster than we have in previous cycles. Maybe that's because of all this capital flow that's come in from all these ETFs. Maybe it's because institutions are involved now. Maybe it's because we've crossed that chasm and the flood of capital is about to create a buying scenario that we've never been able to really track on this market because we've never seen it before. Maybe we are running faster. Maybe it's incredible that the price is so low considering how many people are interested in Bitcoin and it's only growing and how much capital is flowing in. Either way, strip all that away. Let's just look at the chart. We're about to do something that each time we've done it has resulted in that parabolic movement to the upside. Now, because we have run a little bit faster, we may look like we've done things before. We may still get that, 15. We've already had a 19% pullback here in the last week or so before we just started running up again. And this is represented right here. This is this move that I'm talking about right here. We've had this drop right here, 17, 18, almost 18% drop. Is this going to be the halving dip? I don't know. There's no way to know. We're going to have to see what happens in the price action between where we're at right now and this red line. This red line is representing roughly where this the halving is. So around April 20th. So we still have a little bit of time. A lot can happen in this time. You can see this feels like we're right on the halving. We still have, let's see, all the way here. This is about 22 days. Okay, 132 candles if we're looking at 4-hour charts. And we can see this was a 19% move right here. This 19% move happened in 5 days. So things can shift on a dime. Let's not get complacent here. And cover your ears of any of your kids if they're in the room. But right now, the most bullish portion of this market is about to enter. And this is one of those last best opportunities to absolutely change your life. Don't fuck this up. Don't do it. Everything we need to do right now within this market needs to be towards how do we increase the holdings of whatever assets we have in this space. I'm looking for buy opportunities. What are you doing? Comment below. Let me know what you're doing right now to ensure that you can capitalize on this moment. Because it's such a big deal about what's happening right now. And we're never going to have this moment again. The introduction. Let me say this real quick right here. We're never going to have this. Oh man, an unspecified error occurred. Okay, it's okay. We're never going to have this moment again when capital from institutions starts their entry into the market. We're going to have reflexivity of buying pressure and FOMOing from institutions and corporations with the added benefit of retail starting to jump in as well, really starting to flood a capital, really getting this price action going. This is the last best opportunity we're going to have to truly have exponential gains in this market from Bitcoin and all the different altcoins that you may be holding. Make sure you have broad exposure. Make sure you have risk management. And make sure you have patience because it is about to get wild. And I want you all to follow us for more. Hit that subscribe button. Join us because we're going to make sure to keep you on the right side of the trend and also make sure that you have exposure to the right types of projects. We want to make sure that you win because that's what this is about here at BitLab. It's a family. Now, coming back to the charts, 291 people in the room. If every single one of you hit the like button right now, we'd be setting records. So let's make sure that we do that and subscribe. I can't believe only 45% of you watching subscribe. I'd love to have you in here. Now, this is looking a little bearish at the moment. On the 4-hour time frame, we have seen a resurgence with price action rallying up into this level. As we look at it, though, if we do a Fibonacci, Option F if you're on Mac, Alt F if you're on PC, and then click on the chart once, click on the chart twice, we also are kind of running up a little bit hot here if this is going to be another pullback. Why? Because if things are running hot, then maybe we're not looking at the golden pocket. We're looking at this as Army Piper calls it, the platinum pocket, which is this 786. And look, we came right into it, rejected off, bounced on the golden pocket, rejected again off the 786, forming an M formation. An M formation is a double top. Double tops have an indication that there's a likely possibility of a downside price action. What we want to watch for is this neckline right here on this dip. We talk about this a lot in the BitLab Academy in the chart patterns, candles and candle patterns courses here. And there's all individual lessons here in BitLab Academy, as well as on-chain and indicators, trading strategies. We got all of it here to really get you in the know how to read these charts and make sure that you can basically see what the data in the chart price action is telling you about what's coming next. Shout out to All-Star Auto Group, $4.99 super chat. I'm loving the super chats lately. Making sure you are not over leveraged and have active positive positioning in the longs and alts is key, Kelly. Yes, you are right. We got to make sure we're not just trying to capitalize on this moment so much that we're being greedy, that we're presenting more risk than we need. This market is going to move exponential. We don't need to be 30x leverage long on our entire portfolio because that's how you lose it all. I've done it already. Remember, I've shared this with you before. I've lost $70,000 one trade. This was years ago, and it was all the money. Basically, it was like 96% of my crypto portfolio. Traded it up with spot, doing good, smart, and I lost my humility. I was like, man, I'm a good trader. I'm going to be rich next week. I'm going to leverage trade this shit. And I put it on 30x, and I was 30x times faster broke because I lost my entire alt portfolio in that trade. Even though the market went the direction I thought it was going to go. Had that liquidity whipsaw washout, then launched on my liquidation. I'll tell you what. But I learned from it. It's one of the best things that ever happened to me. I almost quit. Like, no, I'm going back deep into the books. I'm going to read all the risk management stuff. I'm going to read all the trading strategies. I'm going to read everything that I can. I'm going to learn. I'm going to practice. And you know what? Now I'm doing much better than I was back then. And I'm also more careful in how I choose price action, how I choose trades, and also how I take on risk. Now, looking at this right here, M formation. We had a trend shift right here with the stopping volume candle. This is this yellow candle right here. This broke down, bounced on the trend signal line. We have a double top here, broke back down. This is it's leaning a little bit more bearish, not only from what we see here, but look right here on the dashboard, right here on the BitLab trading stack. Bearish, bearish, neutral, bearish, bearish, bearish. And we have the price action slicing through the weekly VWAP, this yellow line. Oops. This yellow line right here, slice, look at this, finding support on the trend signal, and then the VWAP, boom, and then slicing through. This is a critical point right now on if we're going to have a breakdown or if this is a washout to the downside and it's going to come back up. We want to see what happens in the next two candles on this 4-hour time frame. If we push back up here, have one candle that closes right at the line, but then we slice through, great. If we have the bulls eat this back up above this, great. If two candles from here, we are making ways down, then this is indicating to me that we are likely going to have a test down at minimum, the bottom side of this range, 68,580, but more likely coming down further into the 67.3 and then likely down to the 65.5. Now, if this frustrates you, that just means you're not patient. If this frustrates you, this means that you're not willing to take advantage of the opportunities when they present. Let me ask every single one of you in the room right now, don't you want to be able to buy assets that you already have at a cheaper valuation? Don't you want to be able to DCA in and get as much as possible before this market runs away? Can't we take advantage of these lower prices if they come together and stop being frustrated with the price not going in the direction that we want it to in this moment? Let's stack. Everybody throw a 1 in chat. If you're a BitLab member with that BitLab badge, throw a Bitcoin bowl in the emoji in the chat. Let's get this flowing. I'm ready for this parabola, and I'm okay to be patient and stack more if I need to. As we stand right now, remember, we still have a higher low. This would be great. If this just, even if we chop sideways here, that would be great. But things are feeling good. They're looking good. We talked about the strength on the 2-month. We talked about where we're at right now on a potential massive move. Whether this is tomorrow, next week or following the halving, even if we get a dip between now and then, I am sure on as sure as I can be on a data basis that this parabola, this area right here, we are on the cusp of this. So do not mess this up. Now, also altcoins. I have been stacking my altcoins like it's nobody's business, and I'm sharing you all every move that I've made. And this is where we're at. Remember, we started this portfolio February 7th. Yes, I've been aggressive with my DCAing, but I've also had pretty darn large profits on nearly everything we bought. There's been a couple things that haven't quite moved yet, and I've added to them, like Polygon, like TIA, CDX, which was one of my smaller microcaps, was doing somewhat poorly. And so I've added to it several times over, and I ended up, because of that, I got actually more coins than I really probably should have in this microcap, but I'm okay with it. It's in that AI play. But look at all this. I mean, up 5 Gs, up almost 4 Gs, up over 3 Gs, up 3 Gs, up a little bit under 3 Gs, 2,500, 1,700, 1,700, 1,700, 1,500, 1,000, 1,000. I mean, these are all spot trades, right? So when we're looking at this chart and we see this is that altcoin altcoins are pumping, real action, however. So total market cap excluding Bitcoin. And this is where we're at right here. It feels like things have already run so far. Let's stop looking at the price. Let's look at the data. The price is only something that helps you pull the trigger on what price to buy. The price is irrelevant. That's why when you come over here to coin market cap, and I got something to share with you guys in a little bit, but when we look at the coin market cap, when you see the price, 12 cents versus 98 versus 17 versus 104 versus 12, $12 doesn't make this a better buy than Litecoin. Those are two, excuse me, goddamn. These are two irrelevant numbers when you're looking at the value of a project. We're looking here at the coin market cap. The price times the total supply gives you the coin market cap. And then the FDV that you see a lot of times. Let's look at Uniswap, for instance. The FDV, fully diluted market cap. Where's that at? So we have market cap right here, total volume that's been traded in the last 24 hours. And then right here, fully diluted market cap. This is if every token that is supposed to be deployed is actually fully out already. If we had all, let's see, 1 billion tokens, well, there's only 598 million that are out currently, which is why you have a different number for the fully diluted market cap than you do with the total total market cap that you have right here. So let's pay attention to these data points. And then when we're looking at the charts and we see, let's come down here to Ethereum. Ethereum, what did we tell? Man, I told you all this yesterday. I hadn't even seen this chart yet. The breakdown of Ethereum, subsequent rise here, I'm not looking at the price. I'm looking at the shape of the interactivity of the price action on a chart to get an insight to what the market psychology is at any given point in time. This is a battle of the bears and the bulls. The bears won this battle. The bulls won this one. The bears won this one. The bulls won this one. But even though you see this chop, the bulls are pushing up, but the bulls are getting weaker and weaker, which is why this is forming a rising wedge. Rising wedges tend to break out to the downside. That doesn't mean break out and continue everything crash, but it does mean when the break of this structure happens, there's a higher likelihood in the 70, 74% range, somewhere in there, likelihood of this breaking to the downside. And we can see maybe this line was drawn a little bit wonky. We could draw it like that. We can see that this did break down, came back out and actually confirmed the breakdown of this previous support, flipping this SR flip is what we call this support resistance SR, flipping this previous support to now resistance. Ethereum currently is holding on by a thread of staying above, these lows right here. The likelihood here is more so that now we have this trend line right here. So resistance, 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 blah, blah, blah. Now the likelihood is this will likely come down and test 3463 or potentially lower if we lose this level. But things can flip on a dime today, especially over the weekend. So while we're doing TA on everything in this moment on the 4-hour candles, We have to know, especially with Bitcoin and Ethereum, and they are going to govern what happens broadly in the market because it really signals to people risk on, risk off within the crypto market. If Bitcoin and Ether pumping, the rest of the market's probably ripping. Bitcoin and Ether dumping, the rest of the market's probably dipping harder, right? So with the options expiry today, 15 billion, largest ever, quarterly close, institutions are in. There's so much, so many more people looking at this than ever have before that we have a strong possibility of some whale games in the chart today. So based on that, and also knowing that the market's not trading today, I think the options expiry might have been yesterday. The market is closed today. We need to be paying attention to the possibility of some movement in the charts that aren't going to be just atypical of what the TA is. Meaning that we want to kind of like, unless you're scalp trading, do it. If you're trying to figure out where to buy and what's going to happen, we need to likely wait until Sunday night into Monday because Easter's on Sunday. But the direction generally is going to be up. We may get some washouts in this sort of choppy zone of everything going on right now. Need night mode. Do you guys not have night mode? Hit that night mode, man. How many of you use the light color mode versus night mode? I can't. Once I flip the night mode, I can't go back. It's just it hurts my eyes when you're on light mode. 314 people in the room. I hope every one of you has done your duty for crypto today and hit that like button and joined us here in the family. Let's go ahead and look at a couple other things here I wanted to share. Okay, so yes, just reminder, who cares about any 5, 8, 12, 30% dip here? We're trying to catch this. Let's not get chopped out in something that is going to be nominal in the coming months. Another bullish narrative here. The dollar index. Why do we care? We're in crypto, Kelly. Why are we looking at the dollar? There's an inverse relationship between Bitcoin and the dollar. So if we come over here, we go to BTC USD. Let's go to the daily. Let's turn off everything like this. Now come up here. See this little plus arrow? Hit that plus arrow. Type in DXY. Come over here to all. DXY, that's a dollar. Now let's go ahead and zoom out here. I want to, you know what? Let's actually do this opposite. Let's go to, turn that off. Let's go to DXY and then put on Bitcoin. DXY at dollar, now BTC. This is not working with me. Essentially what we want to see, you know, hold on, let me do this. DXY BTC Kelly column. I know I posted something on this. Now, I have a chart that I posted on this showing the inverse relationship. No, I can't find it. There's an inverse relationship. I don't want to sit here and look for this. This is pissing me off. There's an inverse relationship. You see how Bitcoin's going up? Yeah, Bitcoin's going up right here. Dollar's going down. And similarly, is it on the 3-day? What am I doing wrong here? I don't know what. You see how this is going up? Dollar's going up. Yeah, you get what I'm saying here. Dollar's going up here. Bitcoin going down. Dollar going down. Bitcoin going up, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what we're talking about on this inverse relationship. So when we look at this chart and we see the dollars coming into a trend line, and we're also seeing all these things going on with monetary policy and all these posts about the debt and what's going on with the economy, so on and so forth. If the dollar does reject here and start pushing down, that will be further additional bullish fuel for the fire, for the bullish narrative. If the dollar is suffering, that makes money. Basically, if the dollar is moving down in value, it also signals money to move into investments and risk assets. So this will just be an additional feather in the cap of the bulls. Now, if you haven't yet, make sure you give me a follow here. We're not done yet. We're about to do some TA, Bitcoin, we already did Bitcoin, but we'll do Bitcoin again. And several of the alts that you guys that were here early had posted. We're going to be covering that now, but make sure you give me a follow. Make sure you spell my name correct. There's several different new scammers out there that I found with fake profiles. And of course, make sure you're following BitLab Academy at Academy BitLab. And I just want to shout out tomorrow we do have a video scheduled. Where the hell is it at? Did I not get it posted? Let me see 1 second. There's a video with Mark Yusko. Here it is. Video with Mark Yusko. It's not letting me schedule it. I'll post a link on my Twitter and all that kind of stuff. This is just distracting me. All right, so coming back over here, we got Mark Yusko. Great interview. We'll be doing tomorrow. I'm going to do it at 10 a.m. So it'll be Saturday stream with the fam. And when I do post it on Twitter, I'm going to do a $100 USDT giveaway for everybody for you're entered to win by sharing and retweeting that tweet. And I'll post that this afternoon once we're done with the stream. But let's go ahead and look. AVAX. AVAX. Why is this on here still? Okay. AVAX. Let's get down to the 4-hour. Boom. Are we not? So Avalanche. Avalanche is also looking a little bit weak. We have the rounding top. It broke down, lower high, rejected by the VWAP. Fake out above the VWAP. It did not find support. It fell below, came up, rejected, came back down. Now it's getting rejected. It's getting weaker. Now it's not, can't even make it all the way back up here. It's getting rejected at the 20, coming down. If we cannot hold this little level right here that it's on, then I do believe that we're coming down not only to 51, but likely coming down into the upper 40s. And we can reevaluate if we do get a bigger dip from there. I'm going to have to figure out if I can go work at Burger King or something, because I've deployed as much capital as humanly possible in the last month. I'm cash poor right now because I'm putting everything I have in the market. So if this does dip, I would love to be able to stack some more into this. I have some profits I can rotate into this, but I want to hold off on that. We do have not only this rejection and this deviation, but we also have an a head and shoulders right here as well. If this is the case, let's see if the target from this lines up with those levels that we just talked about. It does. It comes actually down right into the mid 40s, which is what I was talking about yesterday. If we lose this level, we may come down and basically stair step bounce, and come down into this zone. So let's pay attention to that, because that's going to be an opportunity if the price does go lower. I want to scroll back now and see some of the coins that you guys shared, that you asked about. Okay, I'm just going down. I'm looking at the live chat of what you guys threw in here. Okay, let's see. We did ETH. Polygon. All right, Polygon from DubeTube. Shout out DubeTube. Let's do some Polygon. Polygon's been feeling boring, right? That means it's coiling up with the number of partnerships and the number of different things that they're doing. I would not be sleeping on this just because it feels boring right now. I've been stacking into it. I've been sharing with you all what I've been doing. I actually talked about this in the BitLab Discord right here. Look, everyone persisting with my ultra aggressive DCAing before the market runs away. I added to more MATIC, I added SCI, and I added TIA yesterday. So this is what I got. I got another almost 900, a little under 900 MATIC, another 1,200 say, 79 more TIA. And I've broken down exactly what's going on there. We got a degen alert here I'm going to share with you guys in a little bit as well. But MATIC, let's get out to the 8-hour. What price point? Anybody out there? Let's see who got the lowest price point. Post in here what's the first MATIC buy you did. And if you've already sold it, you can't share that number. It's got to be something you're still holding. Let's see who's got the lowest MATIC number. All right. So this is looking a little bit weak. We have this rising channel top here that also, in formation with it just weak as it could be. Lost the weekly VWAP, came up, tested it. This is why I said confirmed sell. That was the confirmation, because we broke below that low and came down, bounce. And now it's trying to make its way up, but we've come back below the weekly VWAP. So this looks currently like a fake out. This currently looks like a fake out. It's looking like we may get another better option, potentially at a lower price. We also had another rising channel right in here, came down, broke it, got rejected, came down, and now look at this. We're still under the 20 moving average as well as everything else. Bearishness on the trends, the dashboard here on the BitLab trading stack here. Negative money flow. We are on the 8 hours as well. So we want to, if we want to be bullish, we need not only for the price to come up into this weekly VWAP, but this is roughly about the same level as this rising channel support level, which means it's going to be resistance. So we want to watch this. This is a target level right here that we need to get through in order for price to actually have a bullish chance, which is basically just above $1, $1.02, $1.03, because we have the weekly VWAP as well as a rising level of resistance above us. And that's if we push up. As it stands right now, it's looking relatively weak. We can tell that because we had this bullish attempt, it came back down. There's a bull attempt right now. We need to see if we can even clear below these lows. If we do break down lower, we would be looking at basically a 97 cent, which is not really lower. So that's regionally the same thing. We're really looking for somewhere basically 94 cent, 94 to 90 cent sort of zone, I think would be a good setup for a double bottom, you know, something like this kind of worked its way down to here and then starts to move up. That would be a great sort of midterm bullish reversal pattern if something like that were to happen. Next thing up, we see, we got, that's from DubeTube. Thank you for that. Sam Gray said HBAR. Let's look at HBAR. We haven't looked at HBAR in a minute. Where is my HBAR? I think I moved it down here because I rotated out of it. So looks kind of similar, very kind of similar to what we just saw on Polygon. Look, we're also being held. This is much closer to the weekly VWAP. Look at this. Shooting star comes right back down and then the price action loses. We're sitting right here. If we can clear the weekly VWAP, which is 1165, then we can start talking about some bullishness, but I'd be watching out for a bit of a trap and come down, because if the rest of the market's moving down and this fakes out to the upside, it's probably trapping to continue lower. But what we can see here is we have a rising level of support right in here, and as you can see, bounce, 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 bounce. We technically have lost this, and we're in process of potentially rejecting not only on this rising level of support, but also the weekly VWAP. Let's get to a 4 hour. I didn't, yeah. So we're flirting with this area right now. If we lose this area, because this is looking somewhat bullish with this W formation, if we can push up, we're going to want to watch any drawback bounce at above the weekly VWAP or at this trend line for potential continuation. If we do break down from here, and this is a fake out on this little pump, we do break down from here, then we're going to want to watch basically support at about 1120. And if we lose that 1120 support, then I think we're going to be coming down into the 1007 sort of range, because we have this rejection here. We have this bounce over here. We have, you know, some chopping around this area, but rejection and support right here. Tell me this is an area that we're going to want to watch if this does break down. So we talked about that. Okay, HBAR, OPSEC. I don't know if we've ever pulled up OPSEC. I know Joshua Jake is a big fan of OPSEC. But OPSEC, let's see. It's a, no, it's a micro cap. A lot of price discovery here. There's a kind of a, I will say this does look a little bit like a rising wedge or a rising channel. So I'd be watching in this. We're below the weekly VWAP. I'd be watching for a potential test down here into the 220, 223, 224 sort of range. If we can hold this zone, which is looking like it's trying to, then we're essentially want to take back over the weekly VWAP here at 246. If we could take that over, then we likely will be testing back up in here and, you know, another sort of work climbing that mountain back up here to test the 270 and then this rising level of resistance up here in the 290, 291 sort of range. Doge, you know what? Shout out. Who said Doge? Allison Jodfree? Allison Jodry. Great thing. I meant to bring up Doge yesterday. And the reason why I want to bring up Doge is Doge is a kind of a retail signal in some regards to interest in the market from the outside, or the people that are kind of loosely in crypto, right? There's, yes, all of us here have been in and around for a while, but we can play to the narratives of what the masses like. And the masses, while a lot do like Bitcoin, this is not what I want to look at. DOGE, I want to look at there we go. I didn't want to look at the market cap. People on the periphery don't understand that you don't have to buy a full Bitcoin. They don't understand you can buy, almost infinite fractions of Bitcoin. You can buy $3 worth of Bitcoin. So they're like, I don't want to get that, because nobody wants a fraction of something large. So that's why one of the meme coin narrative is so large, because they're like, oh, I've got 280 million of this coin. Well, how much is it worth? $9. Psychology. Dogecoin is the initial meme coin. It's one of the oldest coins in the market. It's older than almost everything out there other than XRP, Ethereum, and maybe Litecoin. It has been around and back, this coin. It also has speculation of some integration into Twitter with the X payments and etc. This coin, when it moves, it tends to move very quickly, because a lot of the peripheral players that are in the space are on the edge of the space. It's a good signal when they're really starting to enter the market, in some regard at least. And this, look at this. We have a huge amount of way to go to even hit the previous all-time high. And will we? Will we hit the all-time high? With a lot of the coins we look at, we say, okay, this is where it went. It's going to go higher. But we have to also understand that when we come over here and we look at Doge, and we understand that the amount of new coins that have been printed on Doge is astronomical since the previous all-time high. Is my computer lagging, everybody? Not sure what's going on. I hope it's working on y'all's end. There we go. My video is lagging. Because there's so many more coins, let's just come over here, go to market cap, go to all. And you can see we do have a good ways to go, but there's a lot of, a good amount of inflation. It's not as huge as everybody thinks it is, but we're much higher on this run up here than you can see when we look at on the price. And so when we think about how far this can go, there's no telling really, especially if there's integrated with X. But you see there's fierce sell-offs on this when there's sell-offs. We've seen it time and time again here. Look at this. This is April 2021, and then just straight down. We also had this very quick run up right here. This doesn't look very big, but this is a fairly decent sized move. This is, it's a 159% move up and then a sell off in about the same amount of time. So when this starts really pumping, and we know that retail's coming in and it's starting to do that, we're starting to enter that sort of field. What do we do? Where are the levels we're watching? Let's get out to the 3-day. I just want to get a little bit of a map. So what we're doing is we're going to draw from the lows right here, draw it across. Okay, we've kind of attacked that zone. So we have this bouncing here, this bouncing within it, rejecting. We had a rejection on the bottom. We're slicing through it. Okay, so what's the next level up? Now we can go here, option J, go here. Right here. So we have this little choppiness here, rejection here. Now we want to see, what we want is multiple signals. So we're not just going to draw a level. Now we're going to come over here. We're going to come out to, let's see. I'm going to do it from the 3-day candle. I'm not going to do it from the absolute all-time high because that was just a wick. Do it from the candle body. And we're going to do to the low right in there. Okay. Now we can see we've got a couple levels intermixed within all of this. This is what we're slicing through right now. The 382 is at 25 cents. The next level up is at 29 cents. This zone right here is essentially at 32 cents. And the golden pocket, which is going to be a pretty major level, is right here in the 38 cent range. Now this is looking like it's starting to move. But be careful, because when this does sell off, it can sell off very quickly. Why is this? Because there's a different type of trader and investor in Dogecoin. And even the people that are smart traders and they have conviction, they're going to trade this just like the people with no conviction, because they know this money can, the price action can evaporate very quickly. So they're not holding this for some long-term hold. If they're playing this uptrend and they see a signal that market, the retail is about to exit, they'll exit right there with them. They're going to long-term hold Bitcoin. They're not going to long-term hold Dogecoin. So you get these very quick flash movements here. Now this is looking good, but I'd be watching these levels that we just sort of mapped out here. Now let's go ahead to do a couple more. STX, I see from Jacob Huffman. STAX, I was debating yesterday when I was DCAing if I wanted to add STAX or more TIA or more, but this was already moving, quite well. So I kind of held off on adding to this one. But look at this, nice retest, push up, rounding out, lost his trend line, rejection, came down, tested the previous range top, and then starting to move up. We are on the cusp right now with STAX actually having another move. Why is this? Because this is pushing up and now it's tackling a previous range support, already rejected here on this flip. If we can get back above this, then maybe we're back into some bullish initiation of impulse. This one also on the 4-hour has a lot of green. So you might see right now, we might see this cycle, especially with what's coming to Bitcoin, and especially with the excitement around the BRC20 narrative, aka coins that are built on top of the Bitcoin sort of network or work built to integrate with Bitcoin. All these other layers, ordinals, OrdiSwap that we've been sharing with y'all in here. STAX, right? Different protocols that are going to work on the Bitcoin ecosystem. These might start running when everything else isn't. And currently this is looking very good. Another one, I'd be watching, honestly, this sort of level right in here, because we have these two trend lines. But as this pushes up, I'd be watching for a little bit of a rejection here, test, and then a continued move if it does continue to move up. Just scrolling through the coins that you guys said. VET, I don't think we've looked at VET in, I can't even tell you how long. Is that VeChain that you want to look at? VET, boom. VeChain. I mean, a lot of these coins are looking very similar. It's kind of similar like Polygon, where we have this rising channel, rising wedge, whatever you want to call it. We are above the weekly VWAP, so this is bullish. It's trying to hold on to a bullish narrative. If we come down and test this trend line, which is now confluent with also the trend signal line, which is also confluent with the weekly VWAP right here. If we lose this, this means the bears are trying to take charge for a little bit. So if we lose this, watch for a bit of a move and a test down, likely maybe even here to the 39.85 sort of zone, or the next low down here, 38 cents. Now, or 3.8 cents, sorry. If we do continue to push up, because this is looking mixed signal. We have bearishness here on the dashboard. We have positive money flow, but the stochastics are rolling over, showing like the move is kind of getting a little bit exhausted. But at the same time, the RSI is trying to reverse. The market is trying, this has a lot to do with all those different data points that we're talking about. So I'd be waiting for this to break down from here or push up and break out from this 4.8 cents sort of zone. As it stands right now, I think this is going to do pretty good things considering how long their community has been around and what they've been building, and how, they're fairly integrated with their supply chain logistics. And they have strong partnerships with the UFC and other things. So if this does push up, this is right at that 786 line. You see this? That 4.8. If we take this out, the next level up is 5.1, 5.2. And then I'd ultimately be watching for this to, sort of take profit on a trade, would be up here at the 6.1, the 1.618. TIA is one of those other coins I see that somebody wrote in here. I can't find the name. Saw it though. Downtrend. Looks like a little bit of a bottom. V-shaped recovery up. Now we've got a little bit, look at this. It's like, it's trying to do the work. It's trying to make some moves. We are above the weekly VWAP. above the weekly VWAP, above the trend, this 20 moving average and EMA ribbon right in here. If we can find support here, this may be, this is actually looking better out of all the ones we've looked at so far, other than STAX. Yeah, this may be trying to make that move because remember, this was moving before everybody. This thing was moving before everything, right? And everything was kind of a little soft. And then in the last 2 or 3 months, this has been in a downtrend. This is why I added it, and I've just been adding on the way down because this is one of those coins that I've been DCAing, lowering my average entry because when this does start to run again, I think it's going to run very strong. We still have negative money flow, but look at this weekly VWAP. Sorry, this VWAP line here on the trend fuel down here, BitLab trading stack. It pushed back above the zero line, came down, tested at the zero line, pushed back up, tested the zero line, pushed back up. This is telling me that they want to play a positive spread. Bullish. Let's see. DXB, I don't even know what DXB is. Let's look at it. Look at this also. W formation, boom, 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 boom. Rising level of support. But this is looking like ascending triangle. Rising level of support, flat level of resistance. If this does get rejected, I'd be watching for a bounce right about where the weekly VWAP is and this rising line, which is about 14.13. If we do break above this, I'd be watching for a test back into the zone and then a continuation to the upside. These tend to break bullish. What was that coin that you guys said? DXB, and never heard of it? Let's do it. I don't know. See, this must be like a little, yeah, I can't do TA on this. Sorry. This is something, if you're going to buy a super meme coin like this or whatever this is, new coin, I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying you're buying this hoping something happens. Can't really do TA on this. Okay. Do a couple more in here. We got to look at Link. Link has just been chopping sideways after this sort of launch that alt rally. Remember, after this 530-day consolidation, broke out. It got that first jolt of like super excitement in the market, and then it traded sideways. Then it broke out, but it was a smaller momentum move here. And remember, don't sleep on Chainlink. They have so many positive integration, partnerships. Larry Fink likes Chainlink. They're doing things with, this coin I think is going to do incredible. Even if it doesn't, it's going to be something that's going to be around for a long time. This did have a bullish reversal signal right here. And currently it's trying to, break out, come back down, test this breakout, test where the bulls come back in. If they can hold this level anywhere above essentially the average level at which I bought, it's almost like a trend line here. This does come back down in the zone and hold here. This is likely setting up for the next move up. Near, how many of you out there hold near? And I want to shout out Mr. Didi Taihutu, Bitcoin, the Bitcoin family. I've had him on the channel many, many months ago. He's the one on our interview on BitLab Academy. He was saying, this is August last year. He was saying that if you come over here to home, come down to daily alpha. Where's it at? It's this interview right here. This was 7 months ago. He told you all about Near as well. Has some loose ties, somewhat with the AI narrative, but also super fast layer 1 blockchain, great community. Near is, I think, currently the best performer in my portfolio in terms of how much I've gained from it. But yeah, Near's looking good. It's consolidating a little bit, which is great because I think when everything starts really going and making moves, this will do well. If this does lose this level we're at, and this is the level we drew, not today, this has been drawn here. And what happened? Price came back to it. We knew this was the level. If we lose this level, we're coming back down here into the 640s. Great, I'll buy more. If we're able to find support here and break out, we ultimately want to break through this weekly VWAP at 740. And then, I think we'll be on our way. Cardano, holding on to the struggle bus here. Broke below this broadening wedge, as well as this rising sort of wedge pattern right in the same zone. broke down bearish, came back up, found resistance, came back down, but we are holding on to this little on this weekly VWAP. I think we'll start to make the moves to, but it's all going to be dependent on what's going on in the market. We have all green here on this 8-hour chart. So is it time? Is it ready? All we can do is be prepared. I love you guys. I hit that like button. Join us here in the family. And I just want to shout out, we still have the deal going on because the price is below all-time high. If you haven't yet, head over to lab.bitlabacademy.com. You can join our private Discord, our premium Discord, where Joshua Jake's in there with me. I'm in there. Deezy's in there. We got John Dalton, the professional trader, in there, sharing charts and setups. Sign up for 30 days free here. I mean, it costs you nothing. Sign up, join us. We're doing member streams regularly. I'm sharing exactly what is going on in my portfolio. DG's sharing his trades. We're sharing setups. I'm sharing alpha, all here in this premium Discord here with members chat. JJ sharing calls on a daily basis, what he's buying, what he's selling. We're talking charts, all this stuff, breakdowns of scalp trades. I'm sharing exactly what's going on in my portfolio and basically alpha. Get in there. And if you want those indicators, when you do use this sign up, immediately after you sign up, there's an option if you want to upgrade to the lowest deal we've ever offered for the indicators and the courses combined. Because with this, you get just the Discord and the member streams and all those channels. And it's the lowest price we've ever done for that. So sign up, lab.bitlabacademy.com/Josh. And it's the best way that you can help support this channel. It really does help us keep the lights on and be able to spend all of our time focusing on building content for you all for the stream with Mark Yusko. I love you. That's all I got. Adios. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in.